Okay, so today we will be discussing about discourse and functional grammar. So who will start the discussion first?
Oh, okay. Can I start the first discussion, Salsa?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Talking about discourse and functional grammar is many kind of them. So I will explain one by one. So the first is experiential metafunctions. Experiential metafunction is talking about how language is used to represent experience, actions, and the real world, focusing on the process or verbs, participants or nouns, and circumstances or adverbial phrases involved. There is two example about this. The first is the teacher explained the lesson to the student yesterday. And the second example is the chef prepare a delicious meal in the kitchens. Next is interpersonal metafunctions. So, interpersonal metafunction is refers how to language and enacts social relationships, managing interactions, attitudes, and roles between participants of the talk modes, like declarative, interrogative, imperative. And the modality, for example, is certainty and probability. And appraisal, for example, is expression of feeling or judgments. First is, coach, you help me with this task. And second example is, I really think you should reconsider all your decisions. Next is textual metafunctions. Textual metafunction is the concept how language is organized to create coherence, cohesive discourse, focusing on information, structure, and thematic progressions, and the distribution of given personal informations. For example, is first we discuss that issue, then we we propose the solutions. And the second example is in the morning we went to the park. Next is about theme. The theme is the element of the cause that serve as the starting point of the message. It's that what in the sentence is about or the topic that is being discussed. For example, is sentence one. Sentence one. The weather was terrible yesterday. The theme is the weather. Introduce the topic and the rhyme was terrible yesterday. For first the new informations. So next is rhyme. Rhyme is everything in the clause that comes after the theme. It provides the rest of the information and is where the main message or new informations is delivered. The rhyme typically carries the weight of the communication and contains what the speakers wants to convey or highlights. Next is actor. Actor is the entity that carries out of the action or something in a sentence. It refers to the participant responsible for initiating or performing material process. For example, is the sentence is the chef cook a meal. The material process is cook, action and perform, and the actor is the chef. The entity performing the actions, and the goal is a meal. The entity affect by the actions. Next is finite. Finite is a verbal element that anchors the clause to a specific time or establishes a speaker commitment to the truth of propositions. In other words, it gives the clause its tense, like past, present, or future, and the modality is certainty, possibility, obligations, and the polarity is positive or negative. This the simple text example about finance. Okay, for First example is she is happy. The finite is express present tense indicating the action takes place. And next is modal example. He might come to the party. The finite is might. Express the modality indicating possibility. Next is plurality example. The sentence is they do not agree with decisions. The finite is do not. Why? Because the express negotiations showing the action is not taking place. The next is process refers. So process refers to the verb or verbal group in the clause and that represented the actions, event, or state happening. Next is complements. Complements refers to a participant that follow the process. Its meaning the complement typically represents an entity that is affected by the process or is otherwise central to its the meaning. Next is direct object. The entity directly affected by the actions. For example, is she bake a cake. Process is bake material, the material process, of course, and the complement is a cake. The entity affected by the actions, and the indirect object is the recipient of the actions. For example, sentence is she gave him a book, and the process is gave. Of course, the material of the process, and the last is complement. The complement is him, the recipient of the actions. So that is what I can explain. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Abrar. So, who is the next? Okay. I would like to explain about my understanding. Based on the Thomson's book, there are three metafunctions, such as ideational metafunction, um, interpersonal metafunction, and textual metafunction. Ideational metafunction is about the natural world in the broadest sense and is concerned with clauses as representations. The ideational metafunction can be classified into two subfunctions, include the experiential and the logical. The experiential function is largely concerned with content or ideas. Next is the interpersonal metafunction. Interpersonal metafunction of a speech represents the way the addresser and the audience interact, the use of language to establish and maintain relations with them. To influence their behavior, to express our own viewpoint on things in the world, and to elicit or change theirs. Next is the textual metafunctions. Is that a part of the meaning potential which makes a text into a text as opposed to a simple string of words or clauses. So it does involves phenomena such as thematic structure, information structure, and cohesion. Next is actor. Actor like you as actor, for example, indicates that this element of the clause has the function of expressing the possible, and then the action expressed in the process. In other words, we are looking at the clause from the experiential perspective of how entities and events in the world are referred to in crude terms, who did what to whom, and in what circumstances. And from this perspective, word you reminds actor even if we reword the example as a passive clause. So next is theme. So theme means that we are looking at the clause from the textual perspective of how the speaker orders the various groups and phrases in the clause. In particular, which constituent is chosen as the starting point for the message. With the passive version, the words in the theme change, but they are still the part of the clause that signals that this is a question of the theme. So next is rim. Rim is the rest of the clause or sentence, and what the information is introduced contains new information. Represents like what I am saying about it and picks information from previous clause and adds something new. So next is finite. Verbs which have the past or the present form are called finite verbs. Verbs in any other form, like infinitive with ing or with ed, are called not finite verbs. So this means that verbs with tense are finite and verbs without tense are non-finite. The distinction between finite and non-finite verbs is very important one in grammar, since it affects how verbs behave in sentences. So next is process. The process of discourse analysis is a flexible and iterative process that involves several steps, including defining research questions, selecting an analysis strategy, choosing a data collection method, collecting data, investigating the context of the data, analyzing the data, developing and refining interpretations, um, reviewing the work, interpreting the result, documenting findings in written form. So in linguistics, a complement, a word, phrase, or clause that is necessary to complete the meaning of a sentence or expression. So next is complements. Complements are often associated with verbs or prepositions. Like, for example, in the sentence, they elected him president. So the word president is a complement. Complements within this linguistic framework are crucial constituents that complete the meaning of a sentence. Often they associate it with verbs or preposition. So in Thompson's book, he add register. Register is a variation according to use. That is, we typically use certain recognizable configurations of linguistic resources in certain contexts. There are three main dimensions of variation that characterize any register, like what is being talked about and the role of language in the activity that is going on. And second, the relationships between the people involved in the communication, both in general and moment by moment. And third is and how the language is functioning in the interaction. So the fact that there are three areas is not accidental, since each of them corresponds to one of the meta functions. The field mainly determines and is constructed by the experiential meanings that are expressed. The tenor mainly determines and is construed by the interpersonal meanings, and the mood mainly determines and is construed by the textual meanings. So the last one is genre. This can be seen in very simple terms as register plus communicative purpose that is and includes the more general idea of what the interactions are doing through language and how they organize the language event. Like typically in recognizable stages, in order to achieve that purpose, an image that may help you to grasp the difference between register and genre is to see register as clothes and genre as garment. The garment is made of an appropriate type of clothes or clothes cut and shaped in conventional ways to suit a particular purposes. So that's it from me. So who is the next? Okay, Nora.
Okay, I will continue about the material. So our topic is about discourse and functional grammar. So in systemic functional linguistics, is a text-based grammar that explains meaning as a process that influenced by context. So it identifies the three meta functions. There are ideational or experiential, the second one interpersonal, and last is textual, that which are realized in every clause we speak or write. And the three meta functions are in every clause, our language is simultaneous construed to some kind of experience that we call ideational or experiential. So the first meta function that we call ideational is that every clause in our language that simultaneous to some kind of experience. And the second one is interpersonal meta function. It is enacts a role of relationship with a listener or reader. And the last one is textual meta function. It relates our message to the prior and following text and context. So these meta functions are central to understanding how language functions in terms of meaning and interaction, and they provide a framework for analyzing the structure and purpose of clause in different contexts. And next about the elements of a clause and their roles in theme and rhyme analysis. So theme is the part of the clause that sets the tone for the rest of the clause, while the rhyme is the part of the clause that provides additional information to support the theme. And another element is actor. So the actor is the nominal group that performs the action described by the process. For example, like the sentence, "Did you take her calculator just now?" So the word the word you is an actor. Or in other words, we are looking at the clause from the experiential perspective of how entities and events in the world are referred to. And next about finite. So the finite element is part of the verbal group and determines the grammatical functions of the clause. And next process. The process is the verbal group that describe the action or states of being. So, well, infinite is the verbal group that determines the grammatical function of the clause, and the process is the verbal group that describes the action or states of being. And the last one is complement. The complement is an element that completes the meaning of the process. So it can be an adjective, noun, or another type of verb that provides additional information about the process. So In conclusions, there are three metafunctions of three functional grammar in SFL that we call. The first one is ideational, that every clause in our language that construes some kind of experience. And the second one is interpersonal metafunction, that's a role or relationship with a listener or reader. And the third one, textual metafunction, that relates our messages to the prior and following text and context. And also, these metafunctions are central to understanding how language functions in terms of meaning and interaction, and they also provide a framework for analyzing the structure and purpose of clauses in different contexts. And there are elements of a clause in functional role, that theme, rime, actor, finite, process, and also complements. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. How many minutes have we recorded?
It's already 21 minutes in my phones. So we
Okay.
have 9 minutes.
Do you guys have any question about this material or?
Wait.
Do you guys know or understand about the elements of clause like actor, finite, process, complement, and other thing? Because I don't really get the point.
Yeah, finite is so confusing us. So Abrar, what the example of finite?
Oh my goodness, my portal.
Wait.
Is it
I
this?
think the example about the finite is like she is happy. And the finite is the is gitu. Can you get Elsa? Or more like another example is he might come to the party, and the finite is in the might. Might express the modality.
I think I need to
Any
remove
question?
because that, oh my goodness.
It's spelled like MEIGHT, Mike. It's Mike.
You guys can continue. Sorry, I need to.
Okay. I'm trying to log into Island is bad connection.
Yeah.
Wait. I need some help about this bad connection, bro. It sucks. Wait.